And we're back, y'all. Thank you for watching today. Go ahead and hit that like button, my people. You know that it helps us out a ton. And of course, it helps you because it helps us keep bringing you these stories every day. Now, y'all, today we're going to be talking about an individual. Usually I like to talk about people who are public figures. You know, we're going to talk about an individual, somebody in the government or government agencies, mayors, congress people, president. But today we're going to be talking about an individual. But the reason why is because this story has gone viral. And frankly, there are people on her side who have taken this story to the public. So I feel comfortable talking about this here. This is about a 19-year-old young lady who was recently deported, y'all. She was deported back to Honduras from the United States. She had arrived in the country as an 8-year-old. She apparently did not know that she had an order for her removal from the country because she's in the country without any kind of legal status. Apparently she didn't know that. I don't know how she didn't know, but that's how the story goes. And so she was going home to surprise her parents for the Thanksgiving holiday, and instead she found herself in rural Honduras. Okay, so I want to open up a conversation about this today because we often talk about people who are in the country without permission, and I want to hear what y'all have to say. And I'm also going to show you what people are saying in the comments here on YouTube. We're going to see if these comments reflect your sentiments, or if you have something else to say, if you agree, if you disagree. So y'all, first we're going to hear a little bit more about Annie Lopez Baloca, and then we're going to talk about what we think about her situation. Let's get into it. But before we do, y'all, we are launching our official Patreon. So if you want to be a founding member on our Patreon, we have just 222 slots, y'all. If you want to be a founding member, go down, click the very first link in the description, and you're gonna feel good about this, y'all, because believe it or not, we are an actual paralegal school, and we help people get their paralegal certificate and get working in the paralegal field. And all of the proceeds from our Patreon, when you enroll as a founding member, all of that is gonna go to scholarships for people who would like to study at our institute, y'all. So click that first link down in the description. Join us as a founding member, y'all. This deal will not come back. Now let's get into the story.
Homeland Security says she was here illegally. Emily Maha joins us live with more on this. Emily.
Well, Ed Maria, that 19-year-old is a freshman here at Babson College. Her lawyer says she came to the U.S. as a child and had no idea she had been ordered to leave the country until she was detained by ICE at the airport last week.
She left her things thinking she'd be back for 4 more years at Babson College.
Naina Gupta isn't the lawyer representing Annie Lucia Lopez Baloca, but helped the family friend who bought the Babson College freshman a plane ticket to surprise her parents in Texas for Thanksgiving.
When she got to the airport to board her flight, she was asked to step aside by federal agencies because they alleged that she had a final order of removal.
Now, as you can see from the YouTube comments, let's just do a brief little survey. This person says, were her parents deported? If she got a deportation order, her parents also got an order. Yeah, but her parents were not with her at the airport. She was flying home to meet her parents. This person says parents' fault. This person says, well, if she's never seen her birth certificate, that should have been the first clue. She did enroll in college, y'all. She enrolled in college. Don't you need some kind of documentation for that? This person says, so it's basically her parents' fault. This person says, if your adult child is illegally present in a country, maybe don't send them through a federal TSA checkpoint. Again, she was flying home to surprise her parents, is my understanding, so they didn't send her through. Parents should have been more diligent. Parents did a disservice by not correcting this a long time ago. They didn't know that everyone that flies is run through a federal database. This is what happens when your parents think they could just drop in unannounced in the US and they think they can make themselves comfy and at home without repercussions. Why would we assume being a college student means they are a legal resident? And finally, I don't believe she was clueless regarding her status at age 19. So I think that the consensus is pretty clear. She's 19, she's a college student. She has to have some idea as to her status. And beyond that, and the sentiment is probably even stronger that her parents did her a disservice by making her an undocumented person in the first place. and not correcting that situation in the meantime.
ICE says she was in the United States illegally and deported her to her native Honduras. In federal court paperwork filed by Lopez Baloca's lawyer last week after she was detained by ICE agents at Logan International Airport, he says his client was a child when she came to the U.S. with her family, never knowing she had been ordered to leave the country.
These are folks who may have received removal orders when they were little children and were never told.
Lopez Baloca's lawyer says the now 19-year-old was just 8 when she entered the U.S. from Mexico in 2014 and was arrested by ICE that year, but released the next day on personal recognizance, saying at some point she and her family applied for asylum. He says she was unaware they'd been ordered to be removed from the U.S. in 2017. Now, immigration attorneys say it could be nearly impossible to bring Lopez Baloca back to the United States.
So now she's somewhere in Honduras, I believe, with her grandparents that I read in a different article. On this report, it says with extended family. So, yeah, she's probably not going to be able to come back. Now, some people are saying, hold up, this is not right. This is just not right. Because Trump said that they were going to go after the criminals. He didn't say that they were going to go after just your regular old people who are in the country without permission. And I think this raises a question, y'all. This just raises a question for me. Let's say you work for immigration enforcement. You are tasked with going after the worst first, right? They say, look, we want you finding murderers. We want you finding people who are hurting people who are in the country without permission. And we want you to get them out quickly. Okay. So while you're searching for that person, or let's say on a particularly uneventful day, you're just chilling at the airport, scanning people's passports or IDs or whatever, and you get a hit. Oh, there's somebody who doesn't have permission to be in the country and they have a deportation order. Like there's a person right in front of me right now. There's an open order for their deportation. I guess the question is, what are you supposed to do? Are you supposed to just say, oh, but they're not a criminal, so I'm gonna just let that one slide? You know, what do you do when your job is to enforce the deportation order and you have somebody right in front of you who has one that's open? Do you just say, well, no, ignore that one?
We can imagine that any effort to bring her home will be a fight.
Now, an ICE spokesperson says Lopez Baloca was ordered to leave the U.S. in 2015, saying she did enter illegally. Her attorney says she's now in a rural part of Honduras with extended family. Live in Wellesley, Emily Maha, WCVB News Center 5.
So, y'all, many of you may know this, and if you don't know now, you know. When I first had a baby with my wife, we weren't married at that time. People don't judge me. We're married now. We had a baby and we were in a different country. My wife's from that country and I was there with her. And this was my mom's first grandchild. And my baby had gotten her U.S. passport maybe about a month after birth. We got it quickly. But my girl, her mom, my baby's mom, my pre-wife, okay, she's my girlfriend at the time, she couldn't get a visa to come to the United States, people. So the baby is breastfeeding. She depends on mom. She needs mom to survive, to live. And she wants to go visit her grandmother. She's a U.S. citizen. She has a right to go to the United States. But her life-sustaining mom, who's not a United States citizen, who couldn't even get a visa, she couldn't get a visa. So guess what? We didn't go until my girl at the time could get a visa. There's no protest for these people who have a U.S. citizen child, but who are stuck in their own country and who can't travel. There's no protest for those people, right? So this is all selective. This ripping families apart thing is all selective. My family could not travel to the United States together because mom couldn't get a visa, even though I had a right to be here, even though daughter had a right to be here. Daughter really couldn't travel without mom because mom is the literal life-sustaining food for daughter, but mom couldn't get a visa. So this stuff is all strange. It's all weird. It's something that has been around for probably thousands of years. There have been travel documents in the sort, right? And we still don't really have any good solutions for this. So I'm going to give you my opinion on this. Did her parents do her disservice? Of course they did, because this was their responsibility to make this right for her. Do I support deporting these people who came over at 8 years old? A college student, somebody doing well in life, I don't generally support deporting them. I think we should be making a law or executive action, executive order, whatever. Generally speaking, you were brought over here at 8. You're doing the right thing. We come across you in the airport, we aren't even gonna bother you. That's the way I see it. Somebody who came over here underage, they've grown up here. Nah, I personally don't think we should be deporting these people. And in fact, now this is gonna sound kind of jacked up, but my first thought was they should have called her parents and said, hey, one of y'all could go and she could stay, because it's your fault she's in this situation. Anyway, y'all, let me know what you think. Drop a comment down below in the comments, please. But before you do, please hit the share button. Share this video out over email, text message, WhatsApp, Facebook, Snapchat, Instagram, all your favorite social mediums. And of course, if you're not a subscriber, please do subscribe. I want to thank y'all for watching. Love y'all, and we'll see you back in the next one.